If you want to experience true success, if you want to rise to levels most people only dream about, stop directing your gaze outward at everyone else. Stop obsessing about who has what, who's doing what, who's chasing what. You must look into the mirror and face the person staring back. That person is either your greatest champion or your most cunning saboteur. In this reflection lies your strongest asset or your biggest liability, and the power to choose which of those it becomes rests entirely in your hands. You have to know down to the last fiber of your being what you want. Vague intentions create vague outcomes. Half-formed wishes create half-lived results. If your goals are unclear, your reality will be just as murky. Define your purpose with crystalline precision, sharpen it like a blade, and once you see that reflection of desire so clearly it almost blinds you, devote yourself to it with every scrap of will you possess. See, imagine your purpose is a fortress at the summit of a mountain, and to ensure there is no turning back, you burn every bridge behind you. No more safety nets, no more fallback plans, no more maybe someday. Retreat ceases to be an option. Cut off your escape routes, burn your ships, tear down the comfort that lulls you into inactivity. This is not a time to wait for the applause of the world or for someone to softly lay out a path for you. Do not wait for support. Do not beg for approval. Stop expecting a free ride in the hope that someone will carry you to glory. You aren't here to be lifted. You're here to conquer, to climb, to plant your flag at the highest peak of your own potential. The strongest individuals build themselves rising from the sweat-soaked floors where no one was watching, from the silent nights when the rest of the world slept. Discipline becomes your sword. Focus becomes your shield. Picture your discipline as a bright, gleaming blade forged in the fires of your personal trials. It slices clean through distraction, fear, and excuses, and your focus, that is your shield, fending off every bit of gossip, negativity, or jealousy that tries to derail you. People around you might scroll endlessly, losing precious hours in the flickering light of their devices. While they scroll, you work. While they talk, you act. While they dwell in doubt, you walk in faith. And know this, you will stumble. You will fail. You will be laughed at. You will feel the sting of being ignored or ridiculed, but let that sting propel you. Let it drive you to prove to yourself and to the silent universe that you are unshakable. The instant you begin to give your all, even with no audience, the world will eventually lift its head and start watching. Success does not belong to the lazy or the ambivalent. It belongs to those who are on fire from the inside out, those who are relentless, those who regard comfort as the enemy of their mission. Work on yourself with the urgency of a person clinging to a lifeboat in stormy waters, because in truth, your life does depend on it. Your mindset, your habits, your daily decisions are the architects of your future. What you do, hour by hour, is shaping the structure of your destiny. Do not underestimate the invisible power you wield in the silent moments when you choose work over rest, focus over distraction, perseverance over surrender. Allow yourself to become consumed by your mission. Train your mind in solitude. Sharpen your discipline when no one else is aware of it. Strip away the thirst for praise. Focus on the results, on the process, on the day-by-day, brick-by-brick foundation you're laying, because the moment you lose yourself in the opinions or validations of others, you weaken your fortress from the inside. Trust the process. Move faster and harder than you think you can, then push beyond even that. Test the boundaries of your endurance again and again until they fracture and reform in new shapes that allow you to go further. Understand that there is no one else who can do this for you. You must do it. Not your friends, not your family, not your heroes or mentors. They can guide or inspire, but the actual sweat and sacrifice is yours alone. So move forward and don't dare look back. If you're still unsure of what you want, the world will be all too happy to decide for you. You'll drift in the tides of random circumstances, whirled about by opinions, tasks, and errands. that serve no lasting purpose in your life? Your time, energy, and potential will splinter in 100 directions, never converging into a powerful beam. But when you truly decide with that blazing clarity that Napoleon Hill himself taught, when you conjure a burning desire that sets your soul on fire, every step you take becomes a sword strike against your weaknesses. Every breath becomes a choice to advance. Every moment morphs into a battle to shape your future. Success is never built on half-formed ideas or vagueness. It demands that you say with unwavering conviction, "This is what I want. I will achieve it. I will persist no matter what stands in my path." That is the flame that ignites the universe to rally behind you in ways you can't predict. That is where real life and real growth begin. Once you set your gaze on that singular goal, everything else dissolves into background noise. Gossip, pointless distractions, the faint echoes of those who judge or criticize, but have accomplished little themselves. They all diminish to static because your purpose roars louder than all that combined. Your definiteness of purpose slices through hesitation like a bolt of lightning. Purpose annihilates doubt. It silences the voice in your head that wonders if you're good enough. Purpose is the unwavering hand that steers you forward through darkness, storms, and the thickest fear. You'll stumble, yes, but purpose helps you rise. You'll face nights with no applause and days without recognition, but you don't need applause to feed your soul. You need the unstoppable movement fueled by your own will. You need to build daily methodically with the patience of a sculptor chipping away at a colossal block of marble. Forget about waiting for someone to believe in you. Forget about waiting for anyone to see your potential. That's weakness. That's dependency. Embrace your self-reliance with such intensity that it seizes your spirit in an almost ferocious obsession. If you want to prevail, you must stop hoping and start acting. There is no secret hack or hidden route to success. There is only directed effort, laser-like, unstoppable people who elevate themselves to the extraordinary do not necessarily possess exceptional gifts. It's that they refuse to scatter their energy. They refuse to let outside clamor or internal fear disrupt their flow. They refuse to yield to envy or bitterness because that kind of negativity is a cancer to productivity. When high achievers are locked in, it's as if the entire world fades away. They know exactly what they must do and they do it. They don't glance around to see how well someone else is doing. They don't brood over who's ahead. They're too engrossed in their own growth. They trust their own path. So learn to be alone with your ambition. Make peace with the silence. That is where real transformation happens. You build your body in solitude. You sculpt your mind in solitude. You raise your empire brick by brick while the rest of the world is gossiping, partying, sleeping, or scrolling mindlessly through illusions. This is the real price, the real sacrifice. If the cost is too high for you, if discipline and relentless focus appear too daunting, then don't complain when the reward doesn't appear. If you want greatness, act like it. Rise an hour earlier to train your mind, stay up an hour later to refine your plan, kill your excuses, stop lamenting about your circumstances or how unfair life might be. Life is tough, but that's where your soul has the chance to sharpen. That's where the strong separate from the weak. The uncommitted crumble under harsh realities, the determined adapt like water, forging new paths where none existed. While the lazy lounge waiting for motivation to knock on the door, the relentless are already on the move. They aren't waiting for a perfect environment or a perfect moment. They adapt to the environment they have, forging a stronger back instead of hoping for a lighter load. You need exactly one thing to break through, and that is a commitment to do the work consistently, obsessively, relentlessly. Your results reflect your level of discipline. Your life mirrors how well you can focus your energy. You don't ascend to the level of your goals. You collapse to the level of your habits. Each day, your habits either push you forward like a rocket or drag you under like an anchor. So decide, Choose the struggle of growth or the dull comfort of stagnation. Choose to push beyond your limits. Choose to build your life from the ground up instead of complaining or tearing others down. Every single time you resist the trivial things that tug at your attention, you grow closer to that goal. Every time you decide that certain temptations or distractions do not matter in the face of your vision, you say yes to destiny. It's not supposed to be easy or swift. It's supposed to test you, to refine you in the forge of resistance. Each bead of sweat, each solitary night, each sacrifice that your acquaintances consider crazy, those are the stepping stones to greatness. That is the tax you pay to stand above mediocrity. You bleed now so you never have to beg later. You toil now so that down the road your success is on your terms, no one else's. You push through the pain now so you can lead and stand tall when others stumble. It does not matter who doubts you. It does not matter if you once tripped. If life knocked you to the ground, rise with redoubled tenacity. If they laughed at you, let your results become the roar that silences them. If you wasted time in the past, reclaim those hours now. Move twice as fast. There's no room for self-pity or regrets. Every moment you spend comparing or hesitating is a moment you could be using to become unstoppable. So commit fully, turn your focus inward, ignore the uproar of opinions, work as though your future is watching you, because it is. It's waiting on you to decide you are enough. You are all you've got, and in truth, that is all you need. Embrace that no one is coming to rescue you. Seize the realization that you and you alone hold the keys to your own destiny. Release the fragile scaffolding of depending on others' resources or approval. You weren't placed on this earth to follow. You were born to command your own path. Everything you keep searching for externally is already within you. The fortitude, the resolve, the discipline, they lie dormant until you awaken them. No one owes you a single thing, not support, not admiration, not a second chance. The moment you stop asking is the moment your real journey starts. Because when you stop waiting for lifelines, you realize that your arms and legs can swim. When you stop expecting the crowd to carry you, you discover you have the strength to walk by yourself. Self-reliance is not arrogance. It is the core of true ownership. You own your mind, you own your hours, you own the attitude you bring and the outcome you forge. If you crave discipline, then be the one to enforce it upon yourself. If you demand respect, earn it through your deeds. If you want to transform your life, look to how you spend your days, your minutes, your mental energy. The second you understand that you don't need a herd cheering you on is the second you become threatening to mediocrity. The second you acknowledge that you have no need to be liked or comprehended to be unstoppable is the second your potential soars. That is the shift in perspective, the pivot that births unstoppable power. It happens in the silent nights, the lonely mornings, those uncelebrated hours when you decide you're done waiting for permission and start building without it. No one understands your vision like you do. It's yours because you were born to see it, shape it, birth it into reality. You don't need to explain it to others, nor do you need their blessing. Let them mock, let them gossip, let them belittle your ambitions. While they do that, you push forward, refining your craft. While they waste hours debating you're already knee-deep in action, let them display illusions of success on social media. Let them chase fleeting attention. You are busy constructing something real, something enduring. Someday they will look at your results in awe, asking how you accomplished it alone. Let them wonder because they missed their chance to learn. They were too distracted watching from the sidelines instead of forging their own path. You will be tested. There will be days when you're convinced no one cares. Nights when you wake up questioning your own tenacity. Good. Welcome these trials with open arms because they are the threshing floor that separates the average from the elite. Many people cannot bear the silence of solitude or the weight of personal accountability. They scramble for distractions, illusions, or scapegoats to rationalize why they couldn't succeed. Don't be like them. You won't fold, you will forge. You won't run from the flames, you'll temper yourself in them. You don't avoid pain, you transform it into power. You are not built to be delicate. You're built to endure and dominate. You're the engine, the fuel, and the driver of your destiny. So press down on the accelerator of your will and go. Take your habits seriously. Guard your time with ferocity. Become absolutely fixated on making meaningful progress. Do not wait for that jolt of motivation. It is far too fickle. Instead, you cultivate unwavering discipline so that you show up the same way day in and day out, come rain or shine, come applause or ridicule. That's how real power is formed. Real power doesn't need recognition to do its job. It thrives in the unlit hours, revealing itself only when the final outcome emerges and leaves bystanders breathless. The strongest folks do not need to appear strong every moment. They just keep returning to the grind. They quietly put in the reps while everyone else finds excuses. They stay laser-focused on their mission while the masses move from one meaningless thrill to another. Stop anticipating perfect conditions. Perfection never arrives. If you keep waiting for everything to align, you'll wait forever. The only condition you require is an unwavering resolve. You either do it or you don't. Life rarely hands out favorable circumstances on a silver platter. You may have to forge your advantage with your own two hands. The day you stop whining about how complicated everything seems is the day you realize that your capacity for growth is endless. You realize adversity is not there to break you, but to sharpen your mental and emotional spine. Every minute you squander hoping the world will go easy on you is a minute you could have used to train harder to refine your plan to become more resilient. So own the struggle, own the tension, the friction, the pressure. Keep advancing even when every muscle in your body aches, even when your spirit wavers. That's the border between average and unstoppable. You cross it, not by idle talk, but by continuous self-directed action. The critics and doubters are often the loudest voices, but ironically, they're the ones who have never walked in your shoes, who never built anything remarkable themselves. They balk at the grit required to truly excel. Let them talk. Let them spew negativity. Their words can only harm you if you open the gates of your mind to them. If you let outside chatter infiltrate your thoughts, it'll choke out your focus, corrode your ambition, and slowly poison your confidence. You don't have the luxury to waste mental energy on those who haven't earned the right to influence you. You don't owe them your time or explanations. In a world saturated with endless chatter and superficial commentary, you must become as silent as a hawk, stalking its prey. Zero in on your vision. Stop letting the turbulence of opinions yank your attention around people. Rush to supply commentary on everything yet produce nothing of worth. Don't be one of them. Results come from shutting out the noise and doing what must be done consistently and meticulously, no matter what. The moment you cease caring about fitting in with the crowd or pleasing the masses, the world will sit up and pay attention. You do not need to be liked. You need to be memorable, unstoppable, legendary. Inevitably, people jeer at what intimidates them or what they can't comprehend. As you start growing, becoming more, their insecurities get triggered because your progress casts a glaring light on their stagnation. And so they try to rein you back to a safer, smaller version of yourself. They'll do it with sneering remarks, doubts about your intentions, or ridicule aimed at your lofty aims, but the real threat is not their words, it's your response to them. Train yourself to stride past the clamor of barking dogs without slowing your pace. No one striving to create something truly worthwhile squanders time belittling others. The ones who tear down do so because they cannot conceive of building something themselves. Let them remain in their own illusions. Your focus is too precious to share with them. Distractions are infinite cheap amusements, unimportant social drama, or the incessant updates from a digital realm that rarely aligns with your deepest goals. Each time you drift into these distractions, you forfeit a piece of your future. Each time you place more weight on what they think rather than on your own clarity, You are handing them your power on a platter, but you weren't sculpted for that. You were meant to pivot away from these empty illusions and direct your gaze solely on your mission. Shatter your illusions of needing outside affirmation. You need emptiness. Quiet, a single-minded drive that leaves no space for trivial noise. Silence is not your enemy. It is the environment where your best work can flourish. Solitude, too, is not a punishment. It's the backdrop that allows you to hear the drumbeat of your own heart and the call of your purpose. You don't need perpetual updates or applause. You need to bury yourself in the pursuit of excellence as though nothing else exists. Because as soon as you set your foot on that path of unwavering focus, you gain a competitive advantage in a world enslaved by distraction. Where others chase fleeting entertainment, you build. Where they check notifications, you're polishing your craft. Where they thirst for recognition, you amass actual results that speak for themselves. There's no need to argue or justify. Let your progress do the talking. Let your unwavering self-discipline crush their skepticism. Let your unstoppable ascent drown out their doubts until one day they see what you've built and have no words left. At that juncture, you owe them nothing, no explanation, no acceptance, no retraction. Your work will stand as a testament to your journey. That is the stance of someone who forges their destiny without seeking direction from those who are standing still. Let them chatter in the background while you quietly refine your empire. Let them doubt while you double down on your efforts. Let them laugh while you scale new heights. Because mere noise can obstruct someone who has decided that their only option is victory. Every outcome you manifest in your life begins in your mind. That's your personal factory of creation. If you fail to govern it, it will govern you. That's where it all begins. Your fundamental beliefs about yourself, about success, about perseverance, about faith, weak or scattered thoughts yield weak or scattered outcomes. If you truly want formidable results, you need formidable thoughts. You cannot allow doubt, fear, or negativity to run rampant in your mental sanctum. If you want to be unstoppable, you must treat your mind like a fortress, letting in only the beliefs and intentions that serve your highest ambition. You cannot be casual about what you allow to settle in your thoughts, or your biggest dreams will be stolen from you before you even have a chance to act. The mind defaults to laziness if left untrained, constantly searching for the path of least resistance, rationalizing procrastination, chasing comfort, or finding excuses that stall your progress. But a disciplined mind, one that you've purposely shaped and taught to stay locked on the vision, becomes your mightiest weapon. You will not think like the masses if you want to live unlike the masses. You cannot entertain weakness in your mind while expecting fortitude in your decisions. Each moment you cave to negativity or fear, you surrender a patch of your mental territory to the enemy. This is an internal war waged daily in the quiet corridors of your psyche. Listen to that voice inside that whispers, "Don't bother. You're not worthy. You'll never succeed." Recognize that it's not you. It's the residue of limiting beliefs you've absorbed from the world. You must rewrite that narrative, overpower it, replace it with new language that resonates with conviction, and that language is built by self-discipline, hammered into place by unwavering faith in your mission, repeated in your mind until it overrides doubt. Most people live reactively, letting the day's headlines, gossip, or trivial controversies saturate their consciousness and then wonder why they feel anxious or lost. Not you. You must move with clear, deliberate intent, choosing precisely what thoughts enter your mental domain. Your mind, once trained and disciplined, becomes unstoppable, unbreakable, lethal in its focus. Every monumental shift in life begins by elevating your standard of thinking. No more chaotic emotions, no more indecision, no more aimless fear. When you control your mind, you control your emotional state that in turn lets you control your behavior, which shapes your results. It all loops back to the quiet battles you face alone, often unseen, often uncredited, but carrying the significance of forging your destiny. If your mind is prone to negativity, you will never leap beyond your current level. So you must practice daily relentlessly to flood your thoughts with the bold, uplifting self-talk of champions. Stop waiting for external triggers to boost your mood or supply encouragement. Be the guard at the gates of your consciousness. No unproductive thoughts get through. Whenever a negative idea attempts to enter you, slam the door. Whenever fear tries to whisper in your ear, you meet it with a roar of self-belief. This is not naive positivity, but a potent brand of thinking that drives you to real, tangible action. Because positivity without action is daydreaming. Focused, accurate thinking combined with consistent, purposeful effort is how you climb each rung on the ladder of success. Hustling or grinding blindly accomplishes nothing if your fundamental thoughts remain broken. You must unify your mental clarity with your physical actions so they strike in unison toward your goal. You can't pretend to be unstoppable if your mind is riddled with limiting beliefs. Train your thoughts the way an athlete trains muscle groups in the gym. Repetitions, discipline, unwavering consistency. Replace mental weakness, doubts, or self-pity with a relentless conviction that you'll push through any obstacle. Because all weakness originates in the mind, so does all power. You don't need to be more intelligent in the conventional sense. You need to be sharper, more decisive. You don't need more fleeting motivation. You need a mind so well trained that it no longer negotiates with laziness or fear. You don't necessarily need new plans. You need to banish the destructive thoughts that sabotage the plans you already have. Master your mind and you master your path. That is how you maintain unwavering dedication. That is how you remain dangerous to mediocrity and unstoppable in the face of adversity, not because your life gets easier, but because your mind grows stronger, your faith deeper, your intentions more precise. When your mental steel has been forged and tempered, everything around you starts to conform to your will. It's not magic, it's the power of focus and relentless desire. Faith without corresponding action is a fairy tale. If you genuinely believe in the inevitability of your success, then your actions will reflect that belief. You will not wait for the perfect time or a green light from others. You will move forward even if the path ahead is thick with darkness. Because true faith is not a passive longing. It is an active force. You don't wait for proof, you create it. You don't wait for someone to beckon you forward. You blaze your own trail. Talk is cheap. Words and dreams without labor are illusions. If you claim to believe in your dream, if you say the fire of your desire is burning in your chest, then that same fire must fuel every measure of effort you take. Faith is quiet and disciplined. It doesn't shout or beg. It simply appears in your unwavering commitment when no one else is cheering you on. People might declare they believe in their aspirations, but watch how they move. Do they hesitate, keep safety nets, or half-heartedly try before giving up? That's not belief. It's fear disguised as ambition. True faith is when you close off all escape routes and say, I am forging ahead come what may. You can't manifest your vision merely by fantasizing. You must align your daily habits, your moment-to-moment discipline, and your ability to endure hardship with that vision. Results materialize when your dedication becomes an absolute. That means pushing yourself when you're exhausted, persisting when the applause fades, persevering when it seems like you're not making progress. That's the crucible in which genuine faith is tested and refined. Yes, you will feel lonely or uncertain sometimes. The environment will test every fiber of your resolve, but if your faith is real, you'll push on even through the gloom of discouragement. You'll keep constructing your empire with each action, each refusal to yield. People may scoff at how unrealistic you are, but real faith begs no approval. It just works and keeps working. It's immune to the fleeting judgments of outsiders. That is how leaders are born. People who act and build while the rest shuffle around in confusion, waiting for clarity or permission. Every time you push forward, you communicate something crucial to yourself, that you are all in, not just curious or mildly interested. When the world sees the fruits of your labor, it asks, how did you do it? The secret is you believed in it so fully that you behaved like it was an unshakable reality long before others caught on. This is not magic. It's the unstoppable synergy of faith and behavior. The world doesn't respond to empty proclamations, but to the burning energy of consistent, disciplined effort. If you want colossal rewards, your actions must be equally colossal. Stop talking about your faith, live it. Show it in how you dominate your day, how you handle setbacks, how you maintain your vision, even when you're battered by failure. If you just lounge in your dream complaining that it's not happening fast enough, you're clinging to a fairy tale. Faith in action is about forging results even when circumstances appear unmoved. Your environment may mock you or doubt you. Others might question your pace or sanity. So let them. True faith doesn't require them to understand. It remains steadfast regardless of outside noise. It is not deterred by obstacles, negativity, or the cynicism of those who gave up on their own dreams. Faith persists because it trusts in the process. It believes that dedicated work eventually yields fruit. It holds an unwavering, laser-like vision in the face of darkness. This unwavering stance is the line between the leaders and the led, the doers and the talkers, the remarkable and the ordinary. Your every action is a declaration to yourself, not to the world. You're proving you're more than idle chatter. You're proving that you back up your faith with sweat and grit every day. You hold your ground. Every time you conquer your own fatigue, you create tangible proof that you're forging your destiny, and that proof accumulates, piling up until results become inevitable. The same doubters who once sneered may feign interest in how you did it, but they missed the entire point. You did it by pushing past the easy illusions, by living your faith when it wasn't easy, and by moving forward when no one else believed. The universe owes you nothing. Your dreams are not the world's problem. No one is obligated to hand you a golden ticket. You reap what you sow, and your greatest harvest is shaped by your own hands, only by pouring your soul into each day, hour by hour. Do you build something that stands the test of time? You don't require applause or comfort or a crowd. You simply require that inner blaze, that unstoppable hunger. You train yourself to greet each dawn asking how you can improve, how you can build, how you can dominate. This path is not about luck or divine favoritism. It is about discipline, definitive purpose, unwavering faith, and unrelenting execution. The unstoppable do not show up just when conditions are perfect. They're there in the cold, in the rain, in the darkness, in the times when others find it justifiable to quit. Look around you, the majority are content to drift, to take shortcuts, to search for the next hack that circumvents real work. You, on the other hand, if you hunger for a life beyond the mundane, must do what most never will. That means severing the distractions, letting excuses die. Keep your circle of concern small, your own growth, your own discipline, your own unstoppable flame. While others gossip or chase trivial pursuits, you are there day in and day out, stacking the bricks of your legacy. Because at the end of it all, the difference between the ordinary and the extraordinary is straightforward. The ordinary individuals talked a big game, but frequently gave in. The extraordinary ones just kept building no matter what. Become that builder. Become that finisher. Let them call you stubborn. Let them misunderstand your devotion. Let them say you're too consumed with your ambitions. Greatness seldom looks balanced to the onlookers who prefer safety. They'll say you should rest more, that you should lighten up, that you're missing out on the fun. But you're playing an entirely different game, forging your future with a commitment that their casual approach can't match. Let them talk. You're not in this for shallow thrills. You're here to walk your own path, guided by an internal compass that points unwaveringly to your definite purpose. At each step, remind yourself that you are the commander of your fate, the architect of your destiny. Your thirst for victory must overshadow any doubt or fear. When that seed of hesitation tries to sprout in your mind, you stamp it out with unwavering belief, reinforced by daily action. You're not blind to difficulty. You simply refuse to let difficulty define you. Every failure becomes a lesson, every setback a test of your will, every obstacle a puzzle to be solved. You don't become unstoppable by dodging adversity. You become unstoppable by embracing it, studying it, turning it into fuel for your forward surge. Refuse to let your environment dictate your potential. If you believe in your cause with the fervor of a burning desire, no adversity can break you. If the results aren't immediate, you persist. If the world tries to slow you, you quicken your pace. If doubt creeps into your mind, you starve it with faith and discipline. That is the daily battle. That is the quiet war raging within you. But that war once won unleashes a force no external enemy can conquer. And so here we are reaching the moment where words meet the threshold of action. The time for talk is over. The time for hesitation is done. Everything you need is already inside you. Every resource, every spark of passion, every ounce of discipline waiting to ignite. Now is the moment to step forward with all your might. Unstoppable, unwavering, unafraid. This is your call to rise higher, to bet on yourself fully, to stare your fears in the face and roar with conviction. You have one life. Why settle for the faint beat of mediocrity when you can create a thunderous legacy? Take this moment and burn it into your consciousness. No more excuses, no more waiting, no more leaning on others for validation. Decide that your dream is worth it, that your life deserves it, that you refuse to exit this world without unleashing your full power. Command yourself to be relentless. Dare to be different. Dare to sacrifice. Dare to step beyond comfort. Dare to bring the images in your mind into concrete reality. And if you stumble along the way, which you surely will, you dust yourself off and keep charging. That is how destiny is seized. Right now, with your heart pounding, your mind ignited, your soul awakened, choose to be bold, choose to harness every principle hammered home in this speech: definiteness of purpose, self-discipline, unwavering faith, relentless persistence. Let them merge into a single unstoppable force. Let that force guide your every movement, your every breath, your every decision. Because this journey isn't merely about you. It's about the gift you have to offer the world. The world needs you at your best, fully alive, fully engaged, fully unstoppable. So act right now. Vow to take control of your destiny. Vow to shape your life into the masterpiece. You know it can be? Vow to do the work you've been avoiding. Vow to cut the ties that keep you in the shallows. Vow to stare down your fears until they yield. Envision everything you've ever desired from life waiting on the other side of your unwavering determination. See it, feel it, believe it, and now build it. Your next move is simple but profound. Subscribe to this relentless pursuit of self-mastery and unstoppable progress. Commit here and now to transform every day into a step closer to your vision. Let your unstoppable fire be the reason you rise at dawn. Let it be the reason you labor into the late hours, the reason you push through the voices telling you to settle. Take hold of your potential with both hands and awaken it fully, because no one else can do this for you. This is your life, your purpose, your legacy. You have been called to be more. Do more, achieve more. So stand up, lock your eyes on that mirror once again, and recognize that you are the greatest force you will ever encounter. There is no waiting for the right time anymore. The right time is now. Rise up and prove to yourself that everything you need is already in your grasp. Step forward, take dominion over your future, and unleash the unstoppable power that has been lying dormant within you. Let your final word be action. Let your next breath be triumph. Subscribe, commit, conquer. This is your turning point. Grasp it and never let it go. Your destiny awaits. Go seize it.